Hi. Shalom. Welcome to the Bible study. We're going to be in Psalms 20 to 22 today. It's day 199, and let's pray.
YHWH, we are being called upon as righteous ones and soldiers. As righteous ones and soldiers of your army. Give us the strength to go into battle with you. Give us the knowledge that we need to have to win, to overcome. Yahweh, you are glorious. We will speak the words through me tonight. Let your spirit flows. Let the people know. The people hear what you want them to know. Father Yahweh, in Yeshua name.
Okay. Let's see. What do we got for songs tonight? Yahuwah, just answer you in the day of distress. The name of the Elohim of Yaakov does set you on high. He does send you help from the set apart place. Zion, He does remember all your offerings. He does accept your ascending offering. According to your heart and fills all your plans. We sing of your deliverance. And in the name of our Elohim, we set up a banner. Yahuwah does fill all your requests. I know that Yahuwah shall save his him from his set apart heavens with the saving might of his right hand. Some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we remember the name of Yahuwah. Yahuwah. Bowed down, fallen, but we have risen and are established. Save Yahuwah. Let the sovereign answer us in the day that we call
Yahuwah, Yahuwah. Rejoices in your strength, oh Yahuwah, oh Yahuwah, and how greatly he exalts him. Your deliverance, your deliverance, you have given him the desire of his heart, and you have not withheld the request of his lips. But you put before him the blessings of goodness. You set a crown of fine gold on his head. He asked for life from you, and you gave it to him. Length of days, forever and ever, through your deliverance. His esteem is great. You have laid excellency and splendor on him, for you have made him most blessed forever. You have made him glad with the joy of your presence, for the sovereign is trusting in Yahuwah, and through the love and commitment of the Most High, he is not moved. Your hand reaches all your enemies, your right hand reaches those who hate you. You make them as a furnace of fire in the time of your presence. Yahuwah does swallow them up in his wrath, and fire does consume them. You destroy their fruit from the earth, and their seed from among the sons of men. For they held out evil against you. They devised a plot, they do not prevail. For you make them turn their back when you aim with your bowstring toward their faces. Be exalted, O Yahweh, in your strength. We sing and we praise your might. Amen.
That was 20 and 21. We're going to do 22.
It's so easy to get your windshield replaced using SafeLight. Tell the people why you haven't done it. Started off as a chip and it just keeps going. So.
My El, why have you forsaken me? Far from saving me, far from the word of my groaning. Oh, my Elohim, I call by day, but you do not answer, and by night, but I find no rest. Yet you were set apart, enthroned on the praise of Israel. Our fathers trusted in you. They trusted in you, delivered them. They cried to you and were delivered. They trusted in you and were not ashamed. But I am a worm and no man, a reproach of men, and despised by the people. All who see me mock me. They shoot out the lip, they shake the head, saying, trust in Yahuwah, let him rescue him, let him deliver him, seeing he has delighted in him. For you are the one who took me out of the womb, causing me to trust while on my mother's breast. I was cast upon you from my birth and my mother's belly. You have been my El, do not be far from me. For distress is near, for there is none to help. Many bulls have surrounded me, strong ones of Bashan have encircled me. They've opened their mouths against me, as a raging and roaring lion. I have poured out like water, and all my bones have been spread apart. My heart has become like wax. It is melted in the midst of my inward parts. My strength is dried like a potsherd, and my tongue is cleaving to my jaws, and to the dust of death you are appointing me. For dogs have surrounded me, a crowd of evil ones encircled me, piercing my hands and my feet. I count all my bones. They look, they stare at me. They divide my garments among them, and for my remnant they cast lots. But you, O Yahuwah, do not be far off. O my strength, hasten to help me. Deliver my life from the sword, and my only life from the power of the dog. Save me from the mouth of the lion, and from the horns of the wild beasts. You have answered me. I make known your name to my brothers. In the midst of the assembly I praise you. You who fear Yahuwah, praise him. All you seed of Jacob, esteem him, and fear him, all you seed of Israel. For he has not despised, nor hated the affliction of the afflicted, nor has he concealed his face from him. But when he cried to him, he heard. From you is my praise in the great assembly. I pay my vows before those who fear him. The meek ones do eat and are satisfied. Let those who seek him praise Yahuwah. Let your heart live forever and ever. Let all the ends of the earth remember and turn to Yahuwah. And all the clans of the nations bow themselves before you. For the reign belongs to Yahuwah, and he is ruling over nations. All the fat ones of the earth shall eat and bow themselves. All who go down to the dust bow before him, even he who did not keep alive his own life. A seed shall serve him, it declared of Yahuwah. To the coming generation they shall come and declare his righteousness to a people yet to be born, for he shall do it. Praise Yahweh. Wow. Okay. Whew. Psalm 22 I was not ready for. I'm familiar with it, vaguely, briefly. I've read it a few times, but I wasn't, I forgot how much prophetic, messianic titleship there was in there. Yeah. Alright, let's start with 20. Yahuwah does answer you in the day of distress. The name of the Elohim of Jacob does set you on high. He does send you help from the set-apart place, and does uphold you from Zion. He does remember all your offerings, and does accept your ascending offering, Selah. He does give you according to your heart, and fills all your plans. We sing of your deliverance, and in the name of our Elohim we set up a banner. Yahuwah does fill all your requests. Now I know that Yahuwah shall save his anointed. He answers him from his set-apart heavens, with the saving might of his right hand. Some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we remember the name of Yahuwah our Elohim. Then they have bowed down and fallen, but we have risen and are established. Save Yahuwah, let the sovereign answer us in the day we call. So, my translation, the scriptures, has capital S sovereign, which means that it's Yahuwah, let the sovereign answer us in the day we call. Let Yahuwah save Yahuwah, answer us in the day that we call. Yahuwah does answer you in the day of distress. See how that works? That's how that starts. Aleph and the Tav from beginning to end. We've seen that a couple of other times throughout the Psalms. I want to say 11 maybe. The name of the Elohim of Jacob does set you on high. Exalted, kings and priests. 2 Peter, 1 Peter. He does send you help from the set-apart place, and does uphold you from Zion. Zion, his set-apart mountain. He does remember all your offerings, and does accept your ascending offerings. Selah. Okay, so
Let's go to Peter. Peter, Hebrew eater. 1 Peter 1:9, but you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a set-apart nation, a people for possession, that you should proclaim the praises of him who called you out of the darkness into his marvelous light, who once were not a people, but now the people of Elohim, who had not obtained compassion, but now obtain compassion. Beloved ones, I appeal to you as sojourners and pilgrims to abstain from fleshly lusts which battle against the being, having your behavior among the nations good, so that when they speak against you as evildoers, let them, by observing your good works, esteem Elohim in the day of visitation. Okay. We can also hit where else can we hit? He does remember all your offerings. First, 10 or so chapters, first 10 chapters of Leviticus are about offerings. And then they make the first offerings in chapter 10, and Nadab and Abihu are drunk, and Yahweh smokes them. You get the sin offering, the voluntary offering, the guilt offering, peace offering, and the ascending offering. All the instructions on them. And Yahweh does remember them. Matthew 5:23. If then you bring your gift to the slaughter place, and there remember that your brother holds whatever against you, leave your gift there before the slaughter place and go. First make peace with your brother, and then come and offer your gift. And does accept your ascending offering. He does give you according to your heart and fills all your plans. So, yeah, that heart condition, that you're right with your brother before you go and give to Elohim. Very important. Fills all your plans. We sing of your deliverance, and in the name of our Elohim we set up a banner. I would like to see what the other translations say about a banner. We lift our banners in the name of God, which has a reference to 1 Samuel 17:45. Which we've read many times here, so let's read it again. But Dawid said to the Philistine, you come to me with a sword and with a spear and with a javelin, but I come to you in the name of Yahweh of hosts, the Elohim of the armies of Israel, whom you have reproached. This day Yahweh shall deliver you into my hand, and I shall strike you and take your head from you, and give the carcasses of the camp of the Philistines today to the birds of the heaven and the wild beasts of the earth, so that all the earth know that Elohim is for Israel, and all the assembly know that Yahweh does not save with sword or spear, for the battle belongs to Yahweh, and he shall give you into our hand. Yahweh does fill all your requests. So it doesn't say anything about banner, but I think the idea there being that
with the proper heart condition and the knowledge of Yahweh and who Yahweh is and that he fights for us, we shall all be delivered. And we sing of your deliverance, O Yahweh. Now I know that Yahweh shall save his anointed. His anointed is capitalized here. If we go to John 1:41. First he found his own brother Shimon and said to him, "We have found the Messiah," which means the anointed. That is the same in all translations. There's no such word as Christ. So whatever flavor you want, it's just, because if it's that way in the New World Translation, then it's that way in all of them, because which means when translated Christ. Okay, so still the Messiah. Daniel 9:25 is where this references us, which I don't really know about that, but okay, let's see. You should know and understand that from the issuing of the word to restore and to rebuild Jerusalem until the Messiah, the leader, there will be 7 weeks, also 62 weeks. She will be restored and rebuilt with a public square and moat, but in times of distress. Okay, so we've got distress and messianic prophecy tied together, and so this whole 20 to 22 is deeply ingrained in messianic prophecy. I've been delving deep into messianic prophecy as I've been talking about, and the coming messianic prophecy where revelation exists with them. And I just want you to ask yourself, what if we were on the cusp of Revelation 6? He answers him from his set-apart heavens. With the saving might of his right hand. Some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we remember the name of Yahweh our Elohim. They have bowed down and fallen, but we have risen and are established. Name of Yahweh our Elohim, who fights the battle for us. It's by the name, by calling on the name. They have bowed down and fallen, but we have risen and are established. Save Yahweh, let the sovereign call us in the day we call.
So there's this beautiful song that Dawid sings in 1 Chronicles 16. And in 1622, started 1620, and they went up and down from one nation to another and from one reign to another people. He allowed no one to oppress them, and he reproved sovereigns for their sake, saying, "Do not touch my anointed ones, and do my prophets no evil." Sing to Yahweh, all the earth. Proclaim his deliverance from day to day. We just read this the other day. His anointed one, his chosen ones. We're getting in the weeds here. Take this 2, 2, and 4. Sovereigns of the earth take their stand, and the rulers take counsel against Yahuwah and against his Messiah, saying, "Let us tear apart their bonds and throw away their ropes from us. He who is sitting in the heavens laughs." That Yahuwah mocks at them. Okay, so what I'm looking for is more a prophetic view of the anointed one, like a Isaiah, possibly. Go to Zechariah 4. I have read all the prophets, and at least to my knowledge, I'm pretty sure I have. Okay. And they're complex. Zechariah 4. And the messenger who was speaking to me came back and woke me up as a man is awakened from sleep. And he said to me, "What do you see?" So I said, "I have looked and see a lampstand of gold with a bowl on top of it. And on the stand 7 lamps with 7 spouts to the 7 lamps." Zechariah is way into... Okay. "And 2 olive trees are by it, one at the right of the bowl and the other at its left." Then I responded and spoke to the messenger who was speaking to me, saying, "What are these, my master?" And the messenger who was speaking to me answered and said, "Do you not know what these are?" And I said, "No, my master." And he answered and said to me, "This is the word of Yahuwah to Zerubbabel. Not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, said Yahuwah of hosts. Who are you, great mountain, before Zerubbabel? A plain. And he shall bring forth the capstone with shouts of favor to it." And the word of Yahuwah came to me, saying, "The hands of Zerubbabel have laid the foundation of this house, and his hands shall complete it. And you shall know that Yahuwah of hosts has sent me to you. For who has despised the day of small beginnings? They shall rejoice when they see the plumb line in the hand of Zerubbabel. These 7 are the eyes of Yahuwah, which diligently search throughout the earth." Then I responded and said to him, "What are these 2 olive trees, one at the right of the lampstand and the other at its left?" And I responded a second time and said to him, "What are these 2 olive branches which empty golden oil from themselves by means of the 2 gold pipes?" And he answered me and said, "Do you not know what these are?" And I said, "No, my master." And he said, "These are the 2 anointed ones who stand beside the master of all the earth."
Matthew 17, 3-4, and Revelation 11, which is the point that I was going to make regarding Zechariah. That Zechariah has a lot of end times prophecy in it. Go to Matthew 17. Let's go to Revelation 11 first. 11, 3-10. Which is like half the chapter, so we're just going to read the whole thing. And a reed like a measuring rod was given to me, and the messenger stood, saying, Rise and measure the dwelling place of Elohim, and the slaughter place, and those worshipping in it. But cast out the court which is outside the dwelling place, and do not measure it. For it has been given to the nations, and they shall trample the set-apart city under foot for 42 months. And I shall give unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days clad in sackcloth. These are the 2 olive trees and the 2 lampstands that are standing before the Elohim of the earth. And if anyone wishes to harm them, fire comes out from their mouths and consumes their enemies. And if anyone wishes to harm them, he has to be killed in that way. These possess authority to shut the heavens, so that no rain falls in the day of their prophecy. And they possess authority over waters to turn them to blood, and to smite the earth with all plagues, as often as they wish. And when they have ended their witness, the beast coming up out of the pit of the deep shall fight against them, and overcome them, and kill them, and their dead bodies lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Mitzrayim, where also our Master was impaled. And some of the peoples and tribes and tongues and nations see their dead bodies for 3.5 days, and not allow their dead bodies to be placed into tombs. And those dwelling on the earth rejoice over them and exult. And they shall send gifts to each other, because these 2 prophets tortured those dwelling on the earth. And after the 3.5 days, a spirit of life from Elohim entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell on those who saw them. And they heard a loud voice from the heavens saying, Come up here. And they went up into the heaven in a cloud, and saw their enemies, and their enemies saw them. And in that hour there came to be a great earthquake, and 1/10 of the city fell. And in the earthquake 7,000 men were killed. And the rest became afraid, and gave esteem to the Elohim of the heaven. The second woe is past, and see, the third woe is coming speedily. And the 7th messenger sounded, and there came to be loud voices in the heaven, saying, The reign of this world has become the reign of our Master and of his Messiah, and he shall reign forever and ever. And the 24 elders sitting before Elohim on their throne fell on their faces and worshipped Elohim, saying, We give you thanks, O YHWH El Shaddai, the one who is and who was and who is coming, because you have taken your great power and reigned. And the nations were enraged, and your wrath has come, and the time of the dead to be judged, and to give their reward to your servants and the prophets, and to the set-apart ones, and to those who fear your name, small and great, and to destroy those who destroy the earth. And the dwelling place of Elohim was opened in the heaven, and the ark of his covenant was seen in his dwelling place. And there came to be lightnings, and voices, and thunders, and an earthquake, and great hail. Okay. What's to say that there's certain chapters of Revelation happening concurrently? Because the last time we get time frame is chapter 4. After this, I looked and saw a door having been opened in the heaven. Every chapter after that starts with and I saw in the right hand of him who sat on the throne a scroll written inside and on the back, having been sealed with 7 seals. And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard one of the 4 living creatures saying, like a sound of thunder, "Come and see." And, we do have an after this. I saw 4 messengers standing at the 4 corners. And when he opened the 7th seal, there came to be silence in the heaven for about a half an hour. So we do have time frames, but there's still no reason that some of this, and the 5th messenger sounded. And I saw another strong messenger coming down from the heaven. And a reed like a measuring rod was given to me, and a great sign was seen in the heaven. So we've got 7 with an after. We've got the half hour, we've got days time frame. But obviously he's not living through the days, so he's seeing the days. Revelation is not in necessarily chronological order. Because none of the prophets give prophetically chronological. Prophetically chronological order, and that is necessarily to say that Revelation 11 comes in Zechariah 4 and Revelation 6 comes in Zechariah 6. So if one's in order, they're out of order. So don't take necessarily the order of the books as the order of the events. Matthew 17:3. And see, Moshe and Eliyahu appeared to them talking with him. And Kepha answering said to Yeshua, Master, is it good for us to be here? If you wish, let us make here 3 shelters, one for you, one for Moshe, and one for Eliyahu. While he was still speaking, see, a bright cloud overshadowed them. And see, a voice came out of the cloud saying, This is my son, the beloved, in whom I did delight. Hear him. Sorry for reading that extra verse, Yahweh. Psalm 21. The sovereign rejoices in your strength, O Yahweh. The human sovereign rejoices in your strength. Why? Because where else are we going to get strength from? You think your chicken salad, chicken pot pie, your salmon and your deer and your antelope and water. How greatly he exalts in your deliverance. Deliverance from Elohim. Come to your new life. You have given him the desire of his heart. You have given him the desire of his heart, and you have not withheld the request of his lips. Selah. For you put before him the blessings of goodness. You set a crown of fine gold on his head. He asked life from you, and you gave it to him.
length of days forever and ever. Through your deliverance his esteem is great. You have laid excellency and splendor on him. First Thessalonians 2. First Thessalonians. For you yourself know, brothers, that our coming to you was not in vain, but having suffered before and having been mistreated at Philippi, as you know, we were bold in our Elohim to speak to you the good news of Elohim in much struggle. For the appeal we make does not come from delusion, nor from uncleanness, nor from deceit. But as we have been approved by Elohim to be entrusted with the good news, so we speak, not as pleasing men, but Elohim who proves our hearts. For we never came with a word of flattery, as you know, nor with a cloak of greed. Elohim is witness. Nor were we looking for praise from men, not from you, nor from others, though we could have been a burden to you as emissaries of Messiah. But we were gentle in your midst, like a nursing mother warmly loving her own children. So having a tender affection for you, we were well pleased to share with you not only the good news of Elohim, but also our own lives, because you have become beloved to us. For you remember, brothers, our toil and hardships for laboring night and day. In order not to burden any of you, we proclaim to you the good news of Elohim. You are witnesses, Elohim also, how set apart and righteously and blamelessly we behaved ourselves among you who believe. Even as you know how each one of you, as a father to his children, encouraging and comforting and bearing witness to you, that you would walk worthily of Elohim, who is calling you into his own reign and esteem. And because of this, we thank Elohim without ceasing, that when you received the word of Elohim, which you heard from us, you welcomed it, not as the word of men, but as it is truly the word of Elohim, which also works in you who believe. For you, brothers, became imitators of the assemblies of Elohim, which are in Yehuda and Messiah Yeshua, because you also suffered the same treatment from your own countrymen, as they also from the Yehudim, who killed both the master and their own prophets, and have persecuted us, and who displease Elohim, and are hostile to all men, forbidding us to speak to the nations that they might be saved, so as to fill up their sins always. But the wrath has come upon them to the utmost. But we, brothers, having been taken away from you for a short while in presence, not in heart, were much more eagerly trying to see your face with much longing. We would therefore have come to you, I indeed, Shaul, more than once, but Satan hindered us. For what is our expectation or joy or crown of boasting? Is it not even you before our Master Yeshua, Messiah, at his coming? For you are our esteem and joy. This prosperity of the brothers is the esteem and the joy that he refers to. And this is the love for your neighbor. Love one another as I have loved you. Satan hindered us. The Yehudi who are stuck in their sin are hindering the movement of Shaul through Thessaloniki and First Thessalonians. And I know you're saying, well, how does that equate to length of days? Well, Diligently guard the commands of Yahweh your Elohim and his witnesses and his laws which he has commanded you. And you shall do what is right and good in the eyes of Yahweh, that it might be well with you. And you shall go in and possess the good land of which Yahweh swore to your fathers, to drive out all your enemies from before you, as Yahweh has spoken. When your son asks you in a time to come, saying, What is the meaning of the witnesses, and the laws, and the right ruling, which Yahweh our Elohim has commanded you, then you shall say to your son, We were slaves of Pharaoh in Mitzrayim, and Yahweh brought us out of Mitzrayim with a strong hand. And Yahweh sent signs and wonders, great and grievous, upon Mitzrayim, upon Pharaoh, and upon all his household before his eyes. And he brought us out from there to bring us in, to give us the land of which he swore to our fathers. And Yahweh commanded us to do all these laws, to fear Yahweh our Elohim, for our good always, to keep us alive as it is today. And it is righteousness for us when we guard to do all this command before Yahweh our Elohim, as he has spoken. Okay. Deuteronomy 6:1. And this is the command, the laws and right ruling which Yahweh your Elohim has commanded you, to teach you to do in the land which you are passing over to possess, so that you fear Yahweh your Elohim, to guard all his laws and his commands which I command you, you and your sons and your grandsons, all the days of your life, and that your days be prolonged. Okay. So, to teach you to do in the land which you are passing over to possess, so that you fear Yahweh your Elohim, to guard all his laws and commands, which I command you, you and your son and your grandson, all the days of your life, and that your days are prolonged. Length of days. He asked life from you, and you gave it to him, length of days forever and ever. What is this life? I come alive in Messiah, said a pastor to me recently. I come alive.